Of course, yeah. I don't know. You can block whoever you want. It could, yeah. We'll come up with it, so we'll hear what it is.
Yeah. So let's start off with our guest here today, Casper de Gier. Who do you want to give a lead out to?
A lead out. So at first, a lead out I will give to the organization of the Heerde Marathon. So it's a marathon separate from the KNSB Marathon Cup. And I think it's separate from the federation as well. And they had like, we have the timekeeping already there. We just have to make the race. We invite a lot of people. We combine it with the classification of the marathon earlier on, Steenwijk. It was the day before. And I think it was a good marathon. They brought it back to the city center. There was some people watching it. And I think that's the way how to do it. Just say, hey, together we organize a race. Let's do it. Go for it. And they did it. And it was a good race, especially for me. So I can be positive.
That's why you want to give a lead out.
Yeah, but a lead out to, I think it's Bertus Doctor responsible for the organization together with Jannes Wolf. And if I forget names, sorry, but everyone who did their job in the organization, hats off.
And those are two people as well who people from the sport in Holland, they know very well. They put up a lot of energy and money and time into the European Cup in Heerde and now also the marathon. And the same what you said, the KPN Cups have gotten smaller this year. This is one of the things that make it still be really, really good. And we all three skated it. It was a great course, great organization. That's a great lead out as well. So, Philip, who do you want to give a lead out to?
I want to give my lead out to Nolan Bijaf for the marathon in Berlin. He even crashed during the race, like I guess it was halfway or so. Came back to the pack, still got second and attacked like several times. I didn't see most of them because I was in the back, but he still did like really great job. And
I was at the back of the front group almost the whole time, so I could see everything.
Yeah,
but he
even has pressure on him with the like he's racing in the world champion suit, so a lot of people are looking at him like they're looking at Bart because he won it so many times. So it's also difficult for him to be a favorite, but he still like smashed it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody will be angry if I say that he was maybe the strongest skater at Berlin. He was attacking.
Yeah, I
crashed,
agree with that.
He dropped. He closed the gap, came back. When he passed me, I was like, please just pass me. And he just go. And then he went straight to the front and he started attacking again. And then sprinted for second after all those attacks.
I think he made the pace for more than half the race.
Yeah. Crazy. Good lead out. He was strong.
Yeah. So, should we move on to your lead out, Stefan?
Yeah, so I want to give my lead out to the legend, the man, Fabio Francolini. So a guy we haven't seen on the inline scene for a long time, but who this year has been coming back to the sport a little bit. He raced also in Berlin Marathon, and he did a half marathon in Swiss earlier on this season, did some races in Italy. He was way on his well. First of all, he's multiple times world champion, but then he went on ice as well. He was looking quite good to go to the Olympics, and then he started having a lot of stomach issues, and has been having problems. I don't know exactly what it is, but he has been having these problems for many years and had to stop the sport for many years. And he's now slowly coming back. I spoke a little bit with him in Berlin. He was just like, he will see how much he can do. But so far he'll need to see if he can actually do top sport the way he used to or not. So big lead out to him for that patience, that hard work of coming back, and also in that age and being multiple times world champion, coming back and not doing like winning races and stuff. I think that's you gotta have a strong mentality to be able to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he was more or less on the way to the Olympics. Like he had a good chance for a medal in the mass start on ice. And won so many world championships on inline. So it's
I think,
a pity.
With marathon ice skating, he was racing in a team over here in Holland, and that's you guys can agree to that. It's a high level in the A class.
It is,
And he actually got several podium spots. I think I'm not sure if he even won.
I don't think he won, but he was second.
Yeah, he came close lots of times, and if you can skate a podium on the marathon races in Holland, you have a good chance skating a podium on Olympics in a mass start. So it's shitty way how it went for him. But
Yeah.
it's really good to see him back in the sports.
And in the era of Bart Swings being the best skater in the sport, he was the rival. He was the guy there battling against Bart Swings for so many years. So really great to see him back, and I hope he'll do well, not have problems.
And we wish him the best.
Wish
Yeah,
him the best
for
from
sure.
here. So let's move on to the block. This is the more fun part. So just in the way that in the race you can give a lead out to someone, that's a big help. In the same way in the race, if you block a skater, yeah, you're definitely not helping them, and maybe they deserved it. So Casper, do you have a block who you want to give to someone? You're not normally a guy that blocks people in the race, but it just for the metaphor and for the podcast, who do you want to block?
I'm curious, to be honest, if I get a block myself. But no, for a block, I don't choose a skater. I give it, in this moment, I give it to the beautiful inline track in Heerenveen. And I can be critical about it, but it is my point of view. Of course, they have their own point of view. But for me, I live close to it, and I want to skate on it as much as possible, but they make it really difficult for us to skate on. So to don't spend a lot of words on it, that's my first block that comes to my mind.
Yeah, the track is surrounded by a fence and a gate, and you have to have a card to get in, I think, or something, yeah?
Yeah, that's not the real problem, and it actually has a roof over it, so even if it's raining,
Yeah.
75% of the time you can skate without too much rain.
Yeah.
But the way of communication, and I think the main problem is it is a commercial organization behind it, and it's not a club. If it's a club, you can just become a member of the club and you can skate on it. But it's commercial, 100%. They probably want to get the investment back for a big part. And
to make profit.
Yeah,
we had the Danish team here in the spring where you trained with us. I remember.
yeah. That was my opportunity to skate on the track.
Yeah. So that's what you see. When we had a big team, a lot of young skaters there, just to get a training camp, because we don't have a great track like that in Denmark either. And then a lot of Dutch people, they're like, oh, we want to join, and then we can finally skate on the track. It's you live in beside the track, how can you skate on it? It's just too difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, when we had such a big team, I guess we booked it months before, and paid a lot of money for whatever
the track itself
part
is fantastic, and if you grow the club and you grow the sport and you let people skate on it, for sure we'll have the level higher. So we hope for it to be more open and be used by the people. So Philip, let's move on to your block. Who are you gonna block or adjust?
Block. I can block myself, I think.
You're giving a block to yourself?
Yeah.
Oh?
Yeah, if it's possible. I don't know.
Wow.
At the Berlin Marathon, I was, let's just say, not doing great. Normally I would finish in the first group, maybe not in the rain this time, but for sure not this time. Because I was dropped after 9 kilometers, I think, trying to chase back with 3 other skaters, and then skating in the back just easily through a corner, crashing, getting back to the to the next big group, and then skating the rest of the race with a frame that was going to the outside. So I felt a little bit unstable in the end.
The
And
frame shifted during the crash?
It's after the crash, I knocked it to
it
the
was
outside.
just a feeling, and it's an excuse.
Yeah, no, just
excuses.
the one of the on one foot it was just pointed outside.
Yeah, but you finished. Hey,
I finished. Yeah,
at least. So far no DNFs, but.
No.
So the last one for the block, my block goes out to we talked about it a little bit earlier today. It goes out to the organization of the World Roller Games, as it was called, not the World Championships, but World Roller Games. And I think a lot of the things were great, and some of the things were not great. And the things that are not great, which I want to give the block to, is the facilities. So the parabolic, or the track, how do you call it?
I think pop-up track.
Yeah, pop-up track. So they built a track made out of steel plates some weeks before, and it turned out to change a lot whenever it was raining, whenever the temperature was changing. Got super slippery, bumpy. Wasn't dangerous per se, but it was just, it made some really, really world-class skaters look like not world-class skaters as well. I think that's bad for the sport. Then on the road track, you did have a quite good road track, but you also had a little bit of dangerous corner. at the marathon you had a good course going back and forward, a lot of crashes, but it was all right. But just the track itself, I think it's a little bit unprofessional to try something new at World Championships. So my block goes out to the organization for not taking it seriously to test out the track before
was
World Championships.
Dangerous too. Like we saw the French guy hitting a big pole because there was not protection enough. So
he was dodging a crash, I think, and he jumped on the pavement and over there.
Hit the
but I think to add up to it, I think we all agree the intention of building a pop-up track and bringing the sports to the people, that's really good. But I think, just like you said, Stefan, to test it on World Championships, that's not a good timing.
Yeah, exactly. The idea is great, and maybe you can make it work. And if you can make it work, you can make the sport more public, and you can put it in nice places. So we have to race where there is public, and in the middle of cities, the same like you did with the Herder Marathon in the middle of the city. That's nice. That's how it should be. But like this, it destroys the racing. So you need to take care that the racing is still on the highest level.
Yeah,
first.
and safe. Also, Philip mentioned the marathon course. Like the course itself, it was wide, it was open. Some parts of the road were bad, so they could have made that clear with a spray or orange or yellow color.
Yeah.
But then when you turn right for the sprint downhill, that's cool. That's a new part of skating that gives other people a chance to go for a good sprint. But then when you put a fence after 250 meters and there's a big city crossing with buses going, I think the first 2 or 3 people, they pushed the fence down. Yeah. The others could jump over it. But
I jumped it. I was luckily not.
You were lucky.
Yeah.
But the first 2, they flipped the fence over. But I think what the question that comes to my mind at that moment is there someone from the judges or someone who has a history in skating himself or herself who looks at the track? Because if you are skating yourself and you realize I don't have any brakes, how can you get from 60 or even 65 to 0 in 250 meters? That's impossible.
Yeah, exactly.
And the track itself, it was challenging and it was good. For me, it's no problem. I think it's also a spectacle for the people who are watching it. But all those small details that make racing safe, I think they have to look at it.
Yeah, I totally agree. So let's finish off on a little bit more positive note. Are there any more lead outs you guys want to give out here before we end the episode?
You guys don't have any lead out? I think I have one.
You have one, Stefan.
You guys first.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't remember.
We'll take one together. We'll give it to Casper for winning first European medal. And
thanks.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive, and I think, it's the first medal you have. You don't have any from juniors,
no,
right?
I think in it was Pollenza Macerata 2011. I got 4th in the 200 meters time trial, but it was the qualification. I was close to top 3 spots, but I crashed into the wall. I think
like everyone else.
If people
talking about safety,
Google or YouTube something about inline skater meets wall, I think they find a really shitty video for me. But I after the finish you had the U-turn, and I think there was a Italian guy at junior B category. Yeah. He won the finals, and he realized I'm not going to make the corner, so he just sit back, and he was like sliding over the asphalt and then putting his hands up in the air. I won.
I remember.
It was crazy.
I think there was a German girl. She won, crashed into the wall, broke both her arms, and
went to the hospital with 2 broken arms. I think.
I think she went out for a moment, and then when she woke up, they told her, "You have a medal." That was a story going on there.
That's actually the last time there was a championship with bad safety. But
that was the closest I was to a medal, but that was in the heat, so I cannot really say I was close to a medal. But this was my first one, and then in senior category during my second Euros. In senior category, so of course I can say I'm happy.
It's a big difference from 200 meters a point, but now you're
when I was young I was a sprinter, but I think now I use my speed for the solo breakaway to get the speed difference going. And then it was survival mode, and it paid off with a bronze medal. Nice.
great way to finish off this episode, I think.
One more lead
You
out.
have one more? Let's bring it. Yeah.
It's for you guys, bringing the podcast to the
we're
inline
giving each other lead outs. You get one, you get
like
one.
after you gave me the lead out, I had to give something back. No, but it's spreading the word about the inline sport, and also for Pascal Briand with the YouTube videos, Felix Rijn.